Hi everyone, Jason here at the Whittier Public Library with another STEAM-powered science take-home science activity. May is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, and in honor of that, we're going to learn a little bit about one of the great inventions of ancient China, which is the compass. Now, a compass is a navigation device, which means it helps you find your way. And the way it does that is it always points north, and it uses magnetism to do that. So I'm going to show you how to make your own compass, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how a compass works. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our compass. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these paper clips and we're going to straighten it out and try and really get it as straight as you possibly can. You may have to work a little bit to get it straight, but having it really straight is going to help. This is the hard part. Okay. That's pretty straight, no major bends in it. That's probably good enough. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our magnet and we're going to magnetize the paper clip. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take the paper clip, we're going to take the magnet, and we're going to run it along about half the length of the paper clip like that. But make sure you go all the way to the end, off the end, back to the middle, all the way to the end, and off the end each time you do it, like that, you see? Don't do it back and forth like this. That will not work. You have to go one direction only. One direction like that. Keep doing it. I did it about 100 times. I'm not going to make you watch that. I have one prepared and ready to go. So we'll set the magnet aside. Make sure to set the magnet a couple feet away because it will affect the compass. Remember, the compass uses magnetism. So if you have a magnet close by, it's going to mess up the compass. I'll show you that in a minute. And put the magnet aside. Now I have a compass needle or a paper clip that's already prepared. So I'm going to take this larger plate just to catch extra spilled water and put the smaller plate inside. I'm going to fill this plate up with some water. All right, about as much water as I can get in there without it spilling. All right, there we go. Then I'm going to take my little plastic cap that has a couple of notches cut into it. Hopefully you can see there's a couple of notches. I'm going to lay the paper clip across there so it's in those notches. And then I'm going to set the paper clip and the cap down in the water very carefully so it doesn't spill. And then I'm just going to wait a few seconds. It should start turning. Let's see if it does that. Okay, so it's slowly turning to the right direction, hopefully. All right, now it wants to point this way. Now I'm going to turn it a little bit in a different direction to see if it goes back to that direction. See, now it's pointing this way. Is it going to go back? Let's find out. It's slowly turning back. Okay, it's pointing in that direction again, right? It wants to point in that direction. Now, we're going to check to see if that's north. Give it a second to get to its final spot. Okay, so it's moving a little bit still. Okay, so now we're going to take our compass. We're going to put it right beside that. We're going to see the way it's pointing. We're going to see north. And it's pretty much the same. So we can see that our compass that we have made is now pointing north. Now I'm going to show you one other thing about the magnet. Now if you get the magnet close to a compass, you'll notice, see if you can see this, as you move it around, the compass is going to point toward the magnet instead. That's why we have to keep the magnet away. And this one here, notice, oops, it even picked up it's going to make our compass go all wonky, see? So that's why you have to keep the magnet a little ways away. So we built our compass. It's pointing north. Now let's talk a little bit about what happened here. Okay, so hopefully you finish your compass and hopefully it's pointing north or pretty close. Now let's talk a little bit about what happened here today. First of all, why does a compass work? A compass uses a magnetized needle, which is basically our paper clip that we straightened out and rubbed with the magnet. And the reason it always points north is because Earth is basically a giant magnet. And as you know, magnets attract and affect other magnets. So when you have a magnetized needle, it's always going to point toward the north pole of Earth. So why did the paperclip become magnetized when we rubbed it with the magnet? Well, the reason is paper clips are usually made out of steel, which is mostly iron. And iron is a special metal that's attracted to magnets. And the reason for that is that iron is made up of all the atoms, which are the tiniest little pieces of iron that make up that piece of iron or steel, are basically a whole bunch of little tiny magnets. So why isn't iron a magnet all the time? Well, the reason is that they're all facing in all different directions. So they kind of cancel each other out. But when you rub the magnet on there, you're lining them up. You're pushing them all so that they're all lined up in the same direction. So then that piece of iron will become a magnet. It only lasts for a little while. It'll be temporary, but for a while, you will be able to create your own magnet. So why did we make a compass for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month? Well, the compass was invented in ancient China, and ancient China was a time and place of amazing scientific discovery and invention. So many things that we still use today were invented in ancient China. In fact, they talk about the 4 great inventions of ancient China, and one of them was the compass, which really changed and revolutionized travel and navigation. It made it much easier to find your way. A second one was paper making. That's one that's especially important to us in libraries. And a third one is printing. And again, very important for us in libraries because without paper making and printing, we wouldn't have books. The fourth one is gunpowder, which the ancient Chinese used for a lot of different things. They used it, of course, for weapons, but they also used it to make fireworks and rockets. So that's why we made a compass today. So thanks for joining us today. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about any of the subjects we talked about today, please stop by the Whittier Public Library, and our friendly children's librarians will be happy to find you some books on any of these subjects. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon at the library.